Sweetheart, I'm home. Sweetheart? Have you seriously been sitting here since I left this morning? Uh, Stop. You know what I'm asking. Getting pedantic only makes me think the answer to the point of my question is yes. "15 minutes for You've been sitting here going through these reports, and half the coffee in the pantry, if the number of pods missing from the coffee canister is anything to go by, for the last 10 hours. I'm surprised your eyes aren't crossing." I understand that. I do. I know how important this is, and I'm not trying to minimize that. I know why you're so hell-bent on pouring through every single line of every single report. But you're only one person. Don't rules lawyer me on that. Your statement might be accurate, but mine is right. You're only one person. You can only expect so much of yourself at a time. There's only so much you have to give before all you're doing is running on fumes and determination. And those aren't bad things. That drive and determination is part of why I fell in love with you. But they can only take you so far when they're all you're running on. No one can pour from an empty cup, sweetheart. Not even you. Oh my God. No, keeping it topped up with coffee does not count as filling it. You know damn well what I mean. It's okay to put a problem down, you know. It's okay. Even a problem of this magnitude. That doesn't mean walking away from it entirely. I promise it's going to be there when you come back to it. And it might even do you some good to step back for a bit. Sometimes what you need is fresh eyes. Sometimes you're too close to the problem. You get so stuck on believing that the solution you're working toward is not only the right solution, but the only possible one, that you dig in and can't see the other options. You lose sight of the rest of the trees that make up the forest. My heart, is it at all possible that you've forgotten a forest isn't made of a single tree? How many times have you read this report today? No, just this one. Were you able to pull anything new from it after the first 3 times? What about this one? Have you come up with any new ways it fits with this one after the first 4 hours of trying to connect them? Right, but was there anything new after that? Any other place that the pieces hadn't fit before that they suddenly did, even if it was the tiniest thread of a connection? Not everything can be brute forced, my heart. Not even by you. Come on, put these down for a minute and just come sit with me on the sofa. Let your mind have a second to recalibrate and come at it fresh afterwards. Oh, I'll happily sit in your lap, but not here at the table where you've been working all day long. Stepping back also means a change of environment. It's sort of like shaking an Etch-a-Sketch or erasing the dry erase board. When you're this mired in the problem, this stuck in not being able to find a solution you know has to be there, you need a completely clean slate the next time you attempt to put the pieces together. Otherwise, you end up with the exact same conclusion because you can't see the evidence any differently. Staying here in the same surroundings where you've been turning the same issue over and over and ending up at the same dead ends doesn't encourage your brain to let it all go so you can have a fresh attempt. Continuing to sit here is like only partially erasing lines in a manuscript you realize has gone wrong. Rather than continuing to try to rework it until it's no longer coherent, you need to have a completely clean page so that you can actually examine where it stopped making sense. It doesn't mean all your work so far has been for nothing. But the fact that you have worked this hard for this many hours and have come up against nothing but dead ends does mean you need a break. You aren't going to be capable of getting anywhere new on this right now. So let your mind have a minute to leave this all right where it is and come sit with me on the sofa. Thank you, sweetheart. You first. Well, I told you I'd sit on your lap. Are you insinuating that you expected me to go back on my word? I mean, I'm shocked you think I would after all the horror stories that exist about what happens to people who do. That doesn't mean I can't tease you about it anyway. Mm-hmm. Shh. Not yet. We'll talk about it all in a minute, I promise. And I'll even help you look at the reports and see if there's something I missed when I saw them the first time, or some connection that it would take both of us to find. But that's for later. Stepping back means stepping back. Leave it all there on the kitchen table, even mentally. If you continue to think about it, it doesn't give you the opportunity to actually re examine it later because you're still trying to parse it. Let it go. Just for a second. Just for now. The world won't end in the next 5 minutes. But it won't. And even if it did, it wouldn't be because of something hidden in those reports. And you know that. They're important, and they need to be gone over. But they aren't immediate. And we'll look at them together before they get to that point. For now, just sit here with me. I can, but only on the stipulation that I will not talk about anything involving the reports, even tangentially. Okay. Work was quiet today, which was nice. Not much to discuss there under the terms of our current agreement, but maybe in a bit. Everett called when I was on the way home. He's going to be in town next week and wanted to know if we wanted to meet him for dinner. That's what I told him. No, he's only in for the night. He didn't tell me why yet, so it could be business or it could be personal. I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure he'll tell me before he gets here. It'll be good to actually see him again, though. Maybe we can plan a trip this summer. It might be nice to go somewhere together. It's been a while since we have. That was only the once, and it could have happened to anybody. I will not be moved from my assertion of my own innocence. I, however, make no such claims for my brother, and you can't make me. And I don't think he would either. Or at least he shouldn't, since it was technically his fault. He should have known better than to stand there. That is not on my head. Besides, Everett's a grown man. He's perfectly capable of shouldering his own blame without needing me to share it when it wasn't my fault in the first place. Nope. And you can't make me. There you are. It's always good to have you back again after I lose you to your own thoughts like that. Well, the little furrow right here disappears, and your jaw isn't so tight. The light in your eyes is different. I just can tell. If you want to go back to the reports now, we can. And I'll go with you. Mm-hmm. I think you've had enough of a moment to reset your perspective. But speaking of brothers, did you call Aiden? You asked me yesterday to remind you to, but I have a sneaking suspicion you haven't seen any of my texts today. That's what I thought. He might have some insight that could be helpful. I'll make some coffee for us both if you want to go ahead and call him. And we can divide the reports up alphabetically for our first read through. All right. Let me go change. You call Aiden, and I'll meet you at the table with coffee in 5 minutes. Deal.